Good evening, Tottenham fans. Teddy Sheringham was recently on talksport talking about the chances of Spurs getting relegated. And for me, he was pretty honest with everything he was saying, pretty brutal and pretty upfront about it. Now, was he right in what he was saying? Let's talk a little bit about what he was saying. So he got questioned by Andy Goldstein, who was interviewing him on talksport. And he said, are Spurs going to be playing championship football next season? Teddy Sheringham said, if they keep this manager in charge, then yes. So for me, he's not a big fan of Tudor, and he goes on to explain why. He says, what have you seen? Andy Goldstein said, what have you seen or what haven't you seen from either of the players, the body language or the manager, to lead you to believe that they need to get rid of him now? Sheringham said, I got to be honest, when I heard the appointment, it was like, who, what, where have they pulled him from? So basically, he's saying he didn't even know who Tudor was. And most of us have to admit, none of us put him on our manager list when we was picking the next manager after Thomas Frank. So 100% right there. Who the hell was Tudor when I had to do a lot of research about this guy? He also went on to say he knows not enough about the Premier League. He doesn't know enough about his players at Tottenham. He doesn't know where to play them. Now, I agree 100%. How many games now has he had? It's 3 games, and he keeps playing players out of position, which is not great considering we've got a mass injury crisis and the players that we have got are not playing in the positions that they need to be playing in. He went on to say, you only have to look at the back 5 he played last night. Every one of them was slightly out of position. Dano playing as a sweeper, Porro as a right centre-half, Van der Ven as a left centre-back. So, yeah, basically that's what we've just been saying. We had Gallagher playing out on the right-hand side as well. We had Archie Gray playing left-back when Sousa was on the bench. None of it's really making sense. He went on to say, you've got to put square pegs in square holes, round pegs in round holes. Ask them to do things that they know how to do and then build from there. And I agree completely with Teddy here, because there's no point in experimenting when you're in a relegation battle. I don't understand why you're experimenting with these players. You know what positions they play. They could tell you themselves. You could look back at history of the games. Why are you trying to fit them into positions that don't suit them? That will just set you back anyway. And we're in a scrap for relegation and we need to get points. Now is not the time to be doing that sort of thing. Andy Goldstein went on to ask him another question. He said, how do they get themselves out of this mess? Because they had last season, they finished 4th bottom, but you kind of forgive them because they won the Europa League, but the league form wasn't good enough. They find themselves now fighting relegation this season. How do they fix this problem? Sheringham said they need to get someone that's Tottenham man in there, someone who understands the Premier League. He said, telling them how good they are, just build them up a bit because they're undoubtedly good players. Now, he's basically saying that these players are not the problem. It's the manager. For me, I think it's a bit of both. I think no matter what managers come in at the moment, the players are underperforming and that they need to be held accountable as well. We can't keep saying that they're good players, but every time a manager comes in, they play badly. So the players need to take accountability as well. He went on to say, we've all seen what Michael Carrick did at Man United. He couldn't buy new players and he had to work with what he's got. He just treated them a little bit differently, spoke to them a little bit differently, and you got results. Now, Man United got lucky with Carrick. Carrick came in and automatically made an impact. I think he won his first 4 games in a row. And with us, it's done the complete opposite. We got Tudor in and he's lost his first 3 games in a row. And now he's got Atletico and Liverpool coming up. So do not think that he will get anything from those 2 games. And for me, I do think we need a change. He also said you have to do a little bit of work on the training ground as well, and you build from there. It's not rocket science, this football game. And again, he's pretty brutal there, saying it's not rocket science. You know, you just do the basics well, do them right, play the players where they need to be played, show them a bit of support. show belief in them. Don't make them robotic and say you have to play in a certain way. Go out there and express yourself. And Tudor's just not doing that at the moment. I think he's just more like a substitute teacher at the moment. Goldstein went on to say, can I fire some names at you and just say yes or no to whether or not you think they would get Tottenham out of this mess? And the first manager he spoke about was Sean Dyche. Now, Sheringham said better than what they've got at the moment, which again, I agree with. So Sean Dyche has been there, done that, knows how to get relegated, knows how to get out of relegation, not knows how to get relegated, because that'd be pretty poor. And he also asked him about Tim Sherwood. And he said, yes, without a shadow. Anybody in America means yes, without a shadow of a doubt. He would rattle a few and get people doing exactly what they need to be doing. And again, I agree with this. Like, if you got a Sherwood in and a Harry Redknapp in, they would not take any crap from these players. If you're not going to fight for the badge, then you're not playing. As simple as that. They won't be going in there to be liked. They'll be going in there to get results. And that's exactly what we need at the minute. He asked him about Glenn Hoddle. He said, yes, as well. I agree with Benty, because Darren Bent was in the studio as well. He said that he hasn't managed for a long time. It's a slower process, a calmer way of going about things. You'd have to work his way in there. He said, I don't think we've got time to do that. Dramatic measures are needed. So you need someone to go in there and shake it up. And I agree with him there as well. Like, Glenn Hoddle is that calm approach, that slower approach, someone that will come in and build on things. But we just haven't got the time for that. We need someone to shake it up now, someone to rattle these players, someone to really put a rocket up these players' asses. And I don't think Hoddle would be the guy. But if Hoddle came in with a Redknapp and a Sherwood, just to, like, you know, build just a big team just to get this team out of trouble, then I'll be all up for that. Goldstein went on to say, do you think then, because what you're suggesting is you think without a shadow of doubt Tottenham have got the players there to keep them up? It's just the manager that needs to change, right? So again, he's questioning now. So the players are good, they're just playing bad for a manager. So he's questioning what I just said earlier in the video. Sheringham said, without a doubt, you put those players in their rightful positions, playing in a system, but they understand and they know. Playing three at the back against one centre forward in the last couple of games is just wrong. He said, it's just been naughty viewing. I'm telling you, it's horrible. It needs to change drastically. Otherwise, they're just going to slide away from me. Now, I agree with that to an extent. I agree that if you play the players out of position, of course, they're not going to be as effective. But also the players need to take accountability again. They need to step up. Archie Gray was out of position, but he was absolutely phenomenal against Crystal Palace. He was the only one that did step up, and he's a 19-year-old. So I don't buy that if you're out of position, you just automatically play bad. I just think that, you know, they've had so much confusion of what they should be doing, with Ange flipping it to Frank, flipping it to Judah. I just think they just don't know what they're doing now. I think they're absolutely confused. Goldstein said, so Teddy, head over heart, where do you think Spurs will finish this season? What do you think is going to happen? Teddy said, it depends. It depends who's in charge for the next few games. Things can change very quickly, Bentley. You know that. You've seen that with Michael Carrick going in. He's got a warmth about him. And then he asked him, if they stay with Tudor, do you think they'll stay up? He said, no. So there you go. There you have it. Teddy Sheringham thinks if Tudor stays at Spurs, then we will go down. And I'm inclined to agree with him. We've had zero manager bounce whatsoever. He's come in, he's played players out of position. I don't think the players are taken to him. I don't think the players take to anyone at the minute. But he's just not done the job that we wanted. He's not even got 1 point from those 3 games. And I just think we have to get a Harry Redknapp in. I really do. I think we have to get a Harry Redknapp in with a Tim Sherwood, shake it up, tell the players either you play or you're out. It's as simple as that. And I don't know whether some of these players have got escape routes already. There's news today that Vicario was planning to leave. And if that's true, if he's already saying he's not going to be here next season, then he should be automatically benched and we put Kingsley in. We need to play players that want to fight and want to be here next season, because if we keep playing the way we're playing, we are going to drop right out of this league. I think Teddy Sheringham was spot on with most of the things he was saying. The only thing he didn't do was make the players accountable as well. But everything he was saying is true. We will drop if we keep Tudor. It's unfortunately, I felt the same about Thomas Frank as well. But Tudor's come in and absolutely done exactly the same as what Frank's doing. Playing very, very defensively and hoping that we get a result that way. It's just not going to work. And doing it at home against Crystal Palace in a must-win game was absolutely shocking to me. I know we went 1-0 up, but we completely capitulated in that game. So things need to change, and they need to change fast. It's not all over. We're still 1 point ahead of relegation. We're not in the relegation zone. It's still in our hands, but we need to wake up very, very quickly. Otherwise, if we do go down, I'm really fearing, with all the debts we have, I have a massive fear that we may not come back up for a very long time. Let me know in the comments what you thought of today's video. Do you think Teddy Sheringham was spot on? Would you keep Tudor, or would you replace him with another manager? If so, what manager would you replace him with? Any of the ones that I've said, or any of the ones that I haven't mentioned? Thank you for watching, and come on, you Spurs.